Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one this is Defender, the Atari VCS conversion of the 1980 coin-op game. As you can see, this one came out in 1981. Now the coin-op version obviously wasn't by Atari, it was by Williams. I don't know how much Atari paid for the license. Knowing Atari, it was as little as they could possibly get away with. Well, this cartridge has 20 game variations, 10 for one player and 10 for the two-player versions. There isn't a great deal of difference between any of the variants. It's basically the rate at which the humanoids are picked up from the surface and the speed of the mutants and the betas, and that's it, so not a great deal of variation, so we'll stick with just the regular variant 1 for this. So let's get the game underway. And I think you may already be seeing why I didn't have this back in the day. Let's cut to the chase. This is not good. Not at all. I mean, for starters, the graphics are unbelievably flickery. I did rescue the bloke there, but it wasn't picking it up. The problem is that, well, as you can see, the graphics really flicker a hell of a lot. So there we go. So that's wave 1 completed. But when the graphics flicker, if, say, the enemy or you are not visible on screen because of the amount of flicker, the game does act as if you or the enemy ship are not there. So you cannot be shot, and likewise the particular enemy ship cannot be shot. And it does mean that when you're not firing, it can be fucking difficult to see where you are. I think there's only that one. There we go, yeah, to get. Now, the actual playing area is not the only location, or the only part of the screen that flickers like hell. That was a mutant. Believe it or not. You look at the scanner at the top, and it's flickering like fuck knows what. And it is fucking difficult to see half the time. In fact, it is so difficult to see that I just don't bother using it. So is it that I finally got hit? The enemy ship's all behind me now. Now, is it that, converting Defender for the Atari 2600 was, a conversion too far and it just couldn't be done? I'm not so sure. I have a feeling it is more likely that it is just a fucking atrocious conversion. I know the Atari 2600 is, you know, limited in, you know, its technical aspects and everything else, but surely they could have done better than this. This is fucking awful. And I mean, back in the day, I did like Defender. I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan of it, but yeah, I didn't mind playing it. But, yeah, I didn't have this. The reason I didn't have it is because a friend of mine did, and I played it once. It's just utterly... It's just shit. I mean, when you switch round there, the audio just gets completely fucking bollocksed up because you're firing away, but because your shots are firing so quickly, the audio doesn't work properly, so you can't even hear your shots. And it's also pretty difficult to see them. See, that mutant that was there seemed to come out of thin air because it was flickering so much. And you know, flickering is... it's the word of the day where this game is concerned, because everything flickers. The scanner flickers like fuck knows what, and you can hardly see it. Now, I'm sure I flew through some of those enemy ships there, but again, because they are flickering, and so was I, it doesn't register as they've hit me. So I've flown into that mutant. Now, it's not like they're hardware sprites. I mean, fucking hell, you did not get hardware sprites on a Atari VCS. And I think that means, yeah, all of the humanoids have now been killed, or have been, yeah, captured. So I now need to try and get these last... Okay, right, so we're on to round 7, but of course they're all going to be mutants now. But look, the mutant is right on top of me. But I'm not losing a life because, yeah, okay, until now, because the screen is flickering so much that it's basically saying I'm not there. Because while it flickers, yeah, not only can you not see your ship, the game can't see it either. So what the fuck went wrong with this? Let's get another game underway. I'm not doing it with any real enthusiasm, but yeah. I mean, you know, for starters, I do not believe that this is the best that can be done. It's not even close. It really does look like a rush job. And in this sort of era, you know, 81, 80, it was not something I associated with Atari. Them doing, you know, rush jobs and whatever. Obviously, when 83 came along with you know what, yeah, rush jobs were definitely the order of the day. But not at this moment in time. But it is just terrible. The graphics are flickering all over the place. The graphics are no great shakes, and I'm not saying that as, you know, a comparison with today or a comparison with Commodore 64. I mean, by Atari VCS standards of the time, the graphics are pretty fucking bland, to put it mildly. Oh, incidentally, I'll just show you, if you want to use the smart bomb, you have to get below the city and then hold down fire button. yes, it's a cityscape rather than, you know, an actual mountainous landscape. Okay, there's one mutant, but kills over with completed level 2. So yeah, the graphics are staggeringly bland, and, you know, is there too much on screen and it can't render them all? Well, no, I can't see that being the case. I mean, yeah, there's a fair bit happening, but you look at how many objects there are on screen, and then you look back to Space Invaders, which had, you know, 30 invaders, along with the 3 defensive, you know, barriers, and your sort of mobile tank. So, and that had no flickering at all, no graphics glitches of any kind. So it wasn't because of, you know, the graphics demand was too high, surely. So what the fuck is it? What has gone so horribly wrong with this conversion that the game just cannot fucking cope? So we're on to round 5. Yes, the number that it shows there at the end of each level is the rounds you have completed. It's not the round that you are about to start. Don't quite know why they decided to go with that. Yes, there are supposed to be ships here that I'm shooting, but they just vanish. My ship is constantly vanishing. It's just awful. I mean, I would have thought that Defender would have been a great title for the VCS. I've got to get that, just fucking got there in time. That's the last humanoid, so... Okay, no it isn't, there is 2. Now there is only 1. You see, I flew straight into that mutant, but I flew right through him. We've seen that I've lost a life. I've got a load more humanoids. Well, that's not an accurate conversion. Well, let's face it, nothing in this is accurate as far as the conversion goes. I mean, I've seen some Defender clones for, shall we say, the less powerful 8-bit systems, you know, like the VIC-20. I wish I could remember one I saw which was available for 16K expanded VIC-20. If you check the Gansey channel out, he reviewed it, and it was fantastic. And I have seen some unexpanded VIC-20 conversions of Defender, which, you know, okay, not fucking brilliant, but they're not bad, they're not awful, not like this. See, I didn't see the shot that killed me then, but then I flew right through like 2 or 3 other shots, so it's not that big a deal. There we go, so level 7 done. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Commodore 64 had, you know, great conversions, like Guardian, and although it wasn't a conversion, well actually Guardian wasn't a conversion, obviously like Drop Zone, it was also a great Defender clone. So obviously programming Defender clones for, you know, the home, either home computers or home video consoles, whatever, it wasn't an impossible task. I think that's game over. But you'd think it was, looking at this. I mean, okay, you can't compare a Commodore 64 with an Atari VCS. The Commodore 64 is superior in every department. But a VIC-20 you can, certainly an unexpanded VIC-20. I mean, again, the VIC-20 may have more memory, a lot more. I mean, this only had 128 bytes, but the cartridges could hold 4K. So, yeah, as far as that goes, the two are comparable. And graphics-wise, they're pretty much the same. But the VIC-20 had vastly superior Defender clones to this. And of course, this isn't a clone, this is an official conversion. It is the worst arcade conversion I've seen on the Atari VCS. And the other thing is, I know they can do a much better job of this, because there is a version of Defender 2 which came out in, I think, 84. And okay, again, it's not fucking superb, it does have issues, but it is infinitely better than this. So let's get the review underway then. Graphics. The graphics are very basic, even by Atari 2600 standards, and they are just constantly flickering. Whether it's the scanner, which does flicker all the time, or worse yet, the actual playing area. And when things flicker and therefore disappear, it is like they're not actually in the game, so you can't shoot it if it's an enemy ship or whatever, and if it's you who's flickering, you can't be hit. It's like you have some sort of invincibility mode going. In terms of audio, the audio does go a bit fucking haywire, because so you hear the sound of your laser blast here, and you think, well, it doesn't sound that bad, but then when you change direction, it can't, it just sounds shite. The trouble is, your laser shot is about the only sound effect in the game that does sound okay. Everything else, it's just... And the VCS is capable of doing fantastic sound effects. And I've done plenty of VCS game reviews that illustrate this. So, it's not that the VCS couldn't do the sound effects here. It's just that it's been so badly programmed. And graphically, the programming is abysmal. And in terms of audio, the programming is abysmal. And the gameplay, because of how badly the graphics have been done, the gameplay suffers. I mean, it is only a sort of vague interpretation of Defender. It is by no means a good Defender clone, even though it's supposed to be official, Defender. An official Defender conversion. And it is one of the worst I've ever seen. So, like I say, when I saw it back in the day, I could not believe it. Okay, so now I'm in trouble. All the humanoids have been captured. One ship left to get, there we go. Oh, So, having cleared the way, the cityscape has been restored, and a load of humanoids have been brought back. Right, so I'll pick him up. There we go. Right, rescue that one. So yes, audio largely terrible, graphics awful, playability is vaguely there, but again it's ruined thanks to the graphics glitch sending the game haywire. So how do I score it? I mean, I do not score it high, that is for sure. It is shit is what it is. This is easily the worst arcade conversion I've played on an Atari 2600. I can't believe this was deemed good enough. So I score it 1 out of 10. It has some playability, but you know, you're hard pressed to even be able to identify it as Defender, for fuck's sake. So yeah, it just doesn't have anything going for it at all. So there we go, Defender for Atari VCS, the worst conversion that was released for this console, at least I certainly think it is. There are some conversions I haven't played, but I can't believe they're as bad as this one was. 1 out of 10 for that one. That brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.